What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy P. Skip. Welcome to the best half hour of your entire Tuesday. You know what time it is. It's time to get into his course. My squad with me, T-Mac.
Hola.
Chili Will.
Gracias, amigo.
Let's do this. Matthew 5:16 in the Amplified says it like this. Let your light shine before men in such a way that they may see your good deeds and moral excellence and recognize and honor and glorify your Father which is in heaven. I said that because over the weekend, we had All-Star Weekend, NBA All-Star Weekend. It was a great weekend for the most part. It's one of the weekends I usually get most hyped about. I don't get this hyped over baseball or football, but I really do.
What about hockey?
Yeah, I'll pass the puck on that one. I don't get too excited about any other thing. I don't even get this excited about March Madness as I do this weekend. March Madness usually about the second round, I start to get more excited. But there were some things that I thought was great. But then there's some things I thought, oh my God, why? I thought the skills challenge did well. The Antetokounmpos did well, but I knew that group of guys were not going to win the skill set. With Giannis and his two brothers, I knew they weren't going to win it. Team Cleveland won it, which I was happy that a hometown won in their hometown. The three-point contest was won by the big cat, Karl Anthony Towns, which is one of the, if not the second or either the third big man who's won it, the three-point contest. If you consider Larry Bird a big man at 6'8", he won it. And then Kevin Love won it. And now Karl Anthony Towns won it.
You know what? Just for Dirk Nowitzki won it one time too.
That's right.
Dirk won it one time. Remember Dirk won it?
Yep. So that's four big men.
Yeah. Dirk won it one time. I remember when Dirk won it because I was pretty surprised.
Yeah. So we had that. But then we had the biggest disappointment of all times, the dunk contest. I'm thoroughly convinced.
Did you say the stump contest?
Oh, the skunk contest? Oh my goodness. Hey, listen, man. Listen. You and I could have been in that contest because we could have missed just as many dunks as they did.
Man,
we all could have did that contest.
It was embarrassing, man. It was just embarrassing.
You know, they're gonna have to do something to incentivize the real dunkers to bring back the entertainment of it, because those young rookies, they look terrible. They're all first and second year guys, and they all look terrible. They look terrible.
That stage was too big for them. They're not used to being under that amount of pressure and that amount of spotlight, and it showed. You and I seen them guys playing games, and we know they've been some high-rising dudes.
Right.
I don't understand, why would you come out to a dunk contest or any kind of contest and miss the dunk? You're supposed to be doing stuff you know how to do that you've done before.
Mm-hmm. Ask me, why are you gonna get up there and try to dunk in Timberlands? Help me understand that, dude. Help Timbos.
I think what we're witnessing is this is kind of the residual impact of the commodification of the game. And to the point of the young guys, first and second year players not being ready for the stage, they didn't have the experience, didn't take notes from some of the other vets on, hey man, your first couple of rounds, you don't go for the juggler right out the gate. You make something, a little pat to it, but it's a dunk that you can make, because we don't want to see you taking 5 to 10 opportunities to finally make a dunk. It's lost its luster. So they don't have the experience. And I think that a challenge is going to be for the league, in that the game used to be a day. You would have that Sunday, you leave church, maybe try and catch the dunk contest, and then you watch the game itself. they've expanded what was an all-star game into an all-star weekend. So now you have to make stuff up to fill in the gaps to make this thing entertaining. And what we saw, the showcase should always still be the game, as Steph dropped 16 threes, the
Right.
50 piece, the MVP shot 16 for 27. LeBron had his 30. Giannis had his 30. That is really still the main showcase. So do that. Now, when you have all this commodification simultaneous to players being brands, I remember when I was working with Miller Communications and the Brewers, we were doing the block parties and stuff, and I was talking to the point people over there, and they were like, well, hey, Tim, it's tough to get players to come out and sign autographs and go to different shows and stuff because their agents nowadays are saying, hey, my player is a baseball player. He gets paid to play baseball. All this other extracurricular stuff, miss me with all of that. And I think the reason why we don't see the for real dunkers in it is because, okay, you guys have taken this opportunity for us to take a break from work, because playing basketball all year is a job for them. And now you filled up some of my off days with the Friday stuff, then the Saturday stuff. Now I got to play the game on Sunday. Me having a break, I don't get the break now if I'm involved with all of this. And the players that don't go to the All-Star game or none of these other extenuating types of festivities, they get a chance to get a for real break. So now it's like, wait a minute, man, I don't want to do all of this other stuff. So you can miss me with the dunk contest, even if I'm a marquee dunker and one of the best dunkers in the game, because what you've done now is added to my job. This is supposed to be an exhibition for us, showcasing, showing off our razzle-dazzle skills, giving it to the fans. You guys have over-commodified this for the entertainment factor, but this is still work for us. And if given the chance of doing more work or less work, because I get a chance to take a break from working all year, most people, whether they're a professional athlete or a joker that's punching a clock in a regular 9 to 5, is going to take that off time because I give you my all while I'm at work. Any opportunities I have to kind of take a break, I'm going to take it. Not because I'm lazy, but because I already give you all I have. There's break time for a reason. That's why you got benefits and vacation time and all those kind of things. So long as the league is using this as the ultimate in exploitation, and I understand the league got to make its bread. I get it. You're trying to milk it for all it's worth. But again, like we talked about the Super Bowl, having the rock and all of that, there are some limits to your, marketing so-called genius, particularly when you have diminishing returns on the investment. That dunk contest was trash. It sucked. Matter of fact, I had some people tell me they ain't gonna watch the game now because of how foul the dunk contest was. And I'm like, well, hold on a minute, man. The marquee piece here is the actual game. So if I come to your shop and you're selling hamburgers, don't give me all this other stuff that's added to the. I want a burger. So don't be putting tater tots all on there. Don't be putting, maraschino cherries. Don't be putting, if you are, let that be complimentary to the. I'm asking for a burger, not all of this. So don't give me this much burger, but give me this much extra. And all the extra, I think, is taken away from the game, and we're starting to see diminishing returns. And so I think some of those factors go into this. So they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. But I was glad to see that the game was great. We got our entertainment value, and the players really showed that's what this is all about. Don't forget that. So,
yeah, I think everything you said holds true for this year's dunk contest.
Mm-hmm.
But in the past, man, we'd have had some outstanding dunk contests, man.
Oh, definitely.
The one with Zach LaVine and what's his name,
Aaron
Gordon.
Yep.
Gordon.
Man, that was epic.
Both of them.
Yeah, the one when what's his name jumped over a car. We done had some Blake Griffin. We done had some great dunk contests. This right here, to me, the biggest problem with this dunk contest is you got people that's barely in the league in the dunk contest. We want to see real NBA All-Stars going against each other, challenging each other in the dunk contest, number one. But number two, and I ain't never been a great fan of the dunk contest for this reason. This is what I don't like about the dunk contest. You got to make the doggone dunk. I don't like that time when Nate Robinson missed 99 dunks. Man, that was, to me, it's like, no, if you're in a dunk contest, you need to dunk on the first or second try. If you can't do it on the first or second try, get lost. You're not a dunker.
Amen.
You know, you need to know yourself, and you need to know what you can do. You trying to dunk in Timberlands and do all this stuff. Have you ever done that before? Do you know you can do that? Well, if you know you can do it, then I need to see it happen on the first dunk, not the 10th dunk. So I just don't like the whole idea that, you know, they need to make it more strenuous. And last but not least, they need to make it where they pay the players. You can win $500,000 if you win the dunk contest, something like that, where it's an incentive in it.
Yeah.
It used to be, I think it was either 10 or 20,000 the winner got.
Yeah.
It was one of those two, but now I think they stopped giving the players money and they started giving it to their charities.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, the other thing for me was I'm old enough and you are as well, Will, when they used to have the dunk contest at halftime of the All-Star game.
Yeah.
You know, so it was just one, like you said, Tim, it was one day.
Yeah.
But I do think that, like you said, they're trying to make a grip of money.
Ain't no trying. Hey, the dunk contest stunk, but they kept the change.
Right. The tickets were sold and the money was kept.
The commercials were sold. The paraphernalia was sold. They made their money.
And usually, here's what's really bad. Usually the dunk contest winner ends up being a sponsor for somebody.
Yeah.
They usually end up, you know, so-and-so did this dunk. Now you see those dunks and there's commercials for whoever. But nobody said, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't want you sponsoring me for nothing. You embarrassed me, bro. You embarrassed me.
Yeah.
So let's keep this moving, man. You know, Ephesians 4:26 in the Amplified says, be angry at sin, at immorality, at injustice, at ungodly behavior, yet do not sin. Do not let your anger cause you shame, nor allow it to last until the sun goes down. Proverbs 8:6 in the Amplified says this, a fool's lips brings contention and strife, and his mouth invites a beating. I said that because recently the Badgers, the Wisconsin Badgers beat the Michigan State Wolverines, and Juwan Howard, which is the head coach of Michigan, after the game, you know, they walked through shaking hands. The assistant coach got lippy and got touched up on. So Juwan Howard ended up hitting or punching the assistant coach in the mouth for the Badgers. Now, what's really amazing to me is they're already saying they're calling for him being fired or being suspended for the rest of the season. And I'm going, wait a minute. First of all, this is his first incident. Second of all, you wasn't saying nothing like that when Bobby Knight was doing all the foolishness he was doing. Why Juwan Howard got to be on such a short leash when Bobby Knight was choking players, hitting them, throwing chairs across the stage? He
brought a whip to the press conference and saying, "This is what I use to motivate them." Like, how degrading is that?
Right, but yeah, he kept his job for what, 20 years?
Yeah,
or better. But Juwan, who has had a squeaky clean record and has also had a winning record, he fires on somebody. And I heard the press conference afterwards. They said, well, why'd you punch him in the mouth? He said, first of all, I didn't like the fact that with 3 seconds left, the Badgers called a timeout to advance the ball and get 10 extra seconds on the clock. So I didn't like that. But then he went up to the coach, and you can see him in the video. He pointed at the coach saying, remember, I'm going to remember that. That was some bogus stuff. I'm going to remember that. Remember what you did. That's what he said to him. And he wouldn't shake his hand. So I guess the assistant coach said something crazy. And next thing he got some of that Detroit. You know, so he got punched in the mouth. So that's why I was like, okay.
Chicago.
Oh, that's right. He is from the Chi. That's right.
Yes, sir.
But that's where the Bible says again in Proverbs 18:6, a fool's lips brings contention and strife, and his mouth invites a beating. So what do you guys think about this? I mean, we all can say, yep, you should have just been cool. You should have just held your peace. You didn't have to punch him in the mouth. You're an example and all that. But we also understand that in the heat of battle, things happen. Things happen. Where are y'all with this? We'll let you start off, Tim. I know Will, you got a Badger alumni in your family.
Yeah, I think that two sides. Number one, anybody, particularly a man, when he gets heated, all bets are off. Most violent crimes, when you talk about those that call for, just violent crimes, disproportionately are committed by men, because men have a switch that, go kamikaze. And once I'm there, consequences be darned. And I think that's kind of what we got into here with, Coach Howard. I think that the unfortunate part, though, is that I think he should have maybe done a better job to keep his cool, because to me, it was a two-part situation. On the front end, when he, when the Coach Guard was calling those timeouts or whatever, the overkill, the unspoken rule that you let the clock run on out, you got to blow out, you don't try and do things to prolong the game. You got almost a mercy rule. You won. Let's go ahead and do some sportsmanship. So when Guard saw him about to walk past him, Guard should have just let it go. He's heated. He's hot. He's looking like he's not trying to give me the regular courtesy. Let me go ahead and let this one ride. Then when he tried to put his hands on him, as a grown man, you don't do that. And as a grown black man, you super don't do that. So Guard was out of order for that. And Juwan, tried to exercise, some restraint on, hey, man, don't touch me. Get off me. Let's go ahead and end this. And it began to get escalated. Where I fought Coach Howard is that after they were separated, as the people saw that, okay, this is about to go there, particularly people on his staff, his staffers, and his team, they deal with dude every day. They know he can go from 0 to 100, and this wasn't necessarily his first instance. Last year in the Big Ten tournament, he got into a heated match that almost came to blows with Maryland's coach. So he kind of has demonstrated that he's got a temper, so you don't really want to mess with dude because he'll go there, as we've just seen. So when they were separating them, I would have hoped that at that particular time, he kind of comes to the senses on, okay, let me calm down some, or even had a right-hand man that's like, Coach, come on, man, we can't let you go out like this, and did a better job of getting him up out of there, knowing that he could go into the Incredible Hulk, because they were separating them. And whatever the assistant coach was saying, no matter how slick it was, the fact that Coach Howard reached over some folks and struck dude was like, bruh, come on, man. You weren't the argument of, well, hey, he put his hands on me. That wasn't the one that put his hands on you. And so with you being the coach, with you being at the end of the game, with you already demonstrating that, hey, y'all, don't make me go there. You already on the verge of that. Go ahead and let the cooler head prevail. The last piece is we're right now in the midst of social justice, racial reckoning, trying to get fairness for jokers that's been meeting out and kicking out racist acts against Negroes. Excuse me for saying it like that. Black folks already. The Kim Potter lady, the officer in Minnesota that killed the young boy that was unarmed, only got 2 years. You got a judge that's giving out the sentence, apologizing, almost crying, talking about having empathy for the officer, but that's not being reciprocated for the brother that got killed, that lost his life for it. And the prosecution was calling for 7 years. Whole George Floyd piece, the aftermath, etc. Coach Howard should have been more cognizant of where we are in this moment in time. The last thing we need is for, see there, this is why we don't need to have social justice, because jokers will go off in a way that was out of order. So while these are separate incidents, they all have a common thread of, tinged with some race will come into play. Whether or not he gets fired or not, the reason why I'm thinking they're even calling for his firing is because it's a black coach. To your point, Pastor Skip, that was Bobby Knight. Bobby Knight come on, man. His track record is this kind of stuff. And nobody called for his firing until the very last him. That's after 30 years in the game. So the double standard can come into play. We ain't trying to get nobody no ammunition to be able to use the double standard. Finally, I was saying for the wheel, I think that there should be some punishment for him just on the example tip of, hey, bruh, we can't just let you go through this unscathed. Now, we ain't going to fire you because my man instigated it by not letting you walk past him, Coach Guard. But the fact that you fired on somebody that wasn't the guy that put his hands on you, I got to give you some sort of suspension or something like that. Short of firing, but something that sends the message that, hey, man, this is totally unacceptable. And your job is to not let yourself get to the point of no return, because with your anger that you will go there. So I'm putting some of that responsibility on you to calm yourself down, as we've all been in situations before in workplaces, or dare I say in a marriage, where you could have struck somebody, but you said, you know what? I ain't gonna go there because I'm gonna calm myself down because I'm a bigger man than that. So I'll leave it with that.
And that is the point that I want to start with, the point that you finished with. Mm-hmm. First of all, let me say this. Coach Howard was wrong. What he did was wrong. It's unacceptable for several reasons, but for the main reason, you're the leader and you're the example and you're the person who is giving guidance to young, up and coming, impressionable young men. Mm-hmm. So you got to know how to calm yourself down and police yourself. So the university or the conference don't have to police you. You right. you have to, like you said, Tim, if you're in a marriage or even with your kids, mm-hmm. you discipline and you upset, you got to know when you got to stop and draw the line and say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to let myself go that far. And he wasn't able to do that. So not having enough self-control is an indictment in itself. And to publicly display that is really shameful on his part. Now, granted, Guard was dead wrong for trying to have that conversation with that man after you just poked him in the eye with a stick. You dead wrong for that. But the other piece was Juwan Howard was pressing. Okay, if the game is over and we're going to lose, why you pressing?
Right.
You shouldn't be in no press. You can't win. What are you doing?
Fall back.
So it was enough coaching errors on each part. The other thing was the guy that he slapped wasn't even talking to him. The guy that he slapped was talking to somebody else, and he slapped him. And I think what probably got him upset was that I think he stiff-armed one of the Michigan players, and he like braced his arm towards the Michigan player for him to kind of get out the way. And I don't think Juwan Howard took too kindly him putting his hand on his player, so he slapped him. And he said some things, and I got a friend that read lips. I want to call him and find out what he said. But he said some things, and I don't know what it was, but the guy that he slapped wasn't talking to him when he slapped him. He was talking to, it looked like a police officer who was in the middle of him that he slapped him. Okay, now having said all that, there is a racial component to this. Number one, and any one of y'all can raise your hand. When have y'all ever seen a black man slap a white man on national TV?
Call Me Mr. Tibbs is the only time.
And I don't know what that is.
That's
the movie.
Sidney Poitier movie.
Oh, okay.
Call Me Mr. Tibbs.
Okay, but that's you seen it one time.
Yeah, super rare. Super rare.
So the whole idea of a white man getting slapped by a black man, a lot of white people can't get that in their heads. They can't process that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. The other thing is, Tim, you spoke about this. We know with the social reckoning and all that, the reason why we have a social reckoning, because traditionally, Black folks have been treated unfairly and unjust when it comes to the criminal justice system and all of the other institutes, workforce, higher education, whatever. All of the institutes don't give Black people a fair shake. So Juwan Howard, don't expect to get the same punishment that a white coach would have got if he would have done this, because that doesn't go on anywhere else in society. Your penalty is going to be more punitive because of the color of your skin. That's just what's going to happen. So don't nobody be shocked when something like, I mean, really, he should get one game. The other coach should get one game. Mm-hmm. You know, he should be suspended for the rest of the year because of that. The man made a mistake. He wrong. I think would have went a long way towards him being even further accepted in his action if he would have showed some type of remorse at the press conference. He did not. That didn't work well against him, because everybody like when you come kiss the ring and admit this, that, and the other. And, you know, sometimes that's the bigger man or the more mature person. Yeah, that does that. That he didn't do any of those. He stood on his grounds. The last piece I'll say, when you going to recruit young people and you telling Tim McMurtry, Skip Henderson, I want your child to come to my school because I'm going to take care of him and I'm going to make sure he's fine. I see you on TV slapping white folks. I don't know if that's a good representation for us sending. Now you done put my kid in harm's way because you slapped a white man. It's a melee going on. It's caused by you. So it's some questions about your judgment and your discipline. And then now this is where the university has a dilemma. Number one, if y'all get rid of Juwan Howard, which people are asking you to do, you finna set that program back 6 to 10 years. Because there's a lot of people that he's already recruited. There's some people that he done recruited that's in the 8th, 9th, 10th grade. Yeah. All of them people getting ready to say, I was going to go to Michigan because Juwan Howard played in the NBA. He coached in the NBA, and he's the guy who knows what to tell me in order for me to get to where I want to get to. And if y'all don't have that kind of,
And he was a Fab Five too.
He was a Fab Five. So if y'all don't have that kind of coach, then y'all don't get those type of players, which means y'all gonna be at the bottom of the Big Ten, and financially, that's gonna impact y'all. So if you want to kill the golden goose, go ahead and do that and stand on your morals and principles, which would be the right thing to do. But when there's money involved, it's a whole lot of other things to consider. So for me, I'm waiting to see what the fallout is going to be. But once again, for the record, I want to state that Juwan Howard was wrong for slapping that other man, that other coach. He was wrong for doing that. Under no circumstances are you supposed to be violent towards the next person, especially where you're in front of children. You're supposed to be a role model. You're not supposed to be doing that. You're just not supposed to be doing it.
More than that, when you're on national TV.
Amen. Yeah.
When you're on national TV, you know, and nowadays in areas where everything goes viral.
Everything
goes viral, you know. So, you know, I just pray for him that, you know, all comes out well for him and that he gets what he needs to deal with I get that competitive edge. I get it. You know, all of us in the heat of the moment, especially on a basketball court or on a football field or whatever, you've done some things that you're like, oh, you know, if we were someplace else, this wouldn't be the way I would act. But there still has to be a level of maturity.
Oh, yeah.
So, hey, listen, another great show. We'll see you next week, same bat time, same bat channel right here. Joy 1340 AM, 98.7 FM, the #1 faith-based sports talk show in the entire world. Into his courts. Until next week, peace.